works. Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome to this month's live. Sorry you were not notified. My husband, daughter and dog have just decided to leg it. So they've gone out for a mighty Saturday walk. So hopefully we're going to have some quiet time for the next hour or so, possibly 2 hours if we're really lucky, but that depends on how long my back lets me sit in the most uncomfortable chair in history. It's normally quite comfy, but not at the moment. As you can see, if you haven't visited the channel for a little while, you will see that the background has changed. Sorry, I was just setting up my live chats and all that because I completely forgot. Yeah, my background has changed. What I've actually done is I'm midway through rearranging all the rooms. If you watch later on, if you play catch up and you watch last week's Whip, Spits and Chat, there's a section in there where you see me moving it all about. And yes, it was tough going because this stupid mare decided to stack everything in the only place that didn't have anything in it, which happened to be by the door. So once I'd started, I couldn't get out. Could go loo, could get drink, couldn't do nothing outside of this room until it was moved and stuff was put back so that the door was clear for me to get through. It would have been okay if I had carried on with my mountaineering as a child, but I didn't. It would have been alright if I hadn't have pulled a muscle in my back. I might have been able to lift my leg over, but I couldn't. Oh, we got 2 viewers in. Welcome in, guys or girls. Stick your little message in chat so I know that you're here. It'd be lovely to chat with you and catch up with you live. Alright, I just got out of the shower as well, hence the soggy hair. So most of this week I have been rearranging the room or putting stuff where I want it to be. So if you keep seeing me look up, but I've got an extra version of me right above my camera and I keep distracting myself. I haven't done this for a month, have I? Come on. It'll take me a little while for my brain to remember. Look at the camera, not at myself. I'm not vain, it's just my eyes get drawn to movement, a bit like a magpie in gold. Right, okay, so going back to it, the room set up as it is at the moment, it may get changed because I'm not 100% keen on it. But don't panic, I'm not coming back and I'm not going to move it back to what it was. No, I'm not. I'm not doing it, I'm not moving it back. Not happening. Right, so as it stands at the moment, you've got Dory there, sporting one of my latest patterns. Now the pattern for this one is available over on Ravelry. If I remember rightly, it's the Summertime something or other. I'm gonna have to go and check just for my own brain cell because it ain't working. No, it's really not working. I'm clicking on the wrong buttons and everything. As long as I don't click out of here, we will be okay. Why aren't you letting me auto go in? Oh, that one? Nope, that's for there. Right, at the moment, oh, there we go. My Ravelry's now decided it's going to start working. Right, so Dory is wearing the Summertime beach cover up. Yes, I nearly got it. I was halfway there, wasn't I? Now, as I said, that pattern is available over on Ravelry for purchase if you struggle with it after you've purchased it, because it is quite an intense pattern. So especially when it comes to joining the first and second motif. If you need any help, fire me over an email and send stick a message in any of the videos here on YouTube saying I fired you an email, help, and I will run up to this room and read your email. I normally like to connect one-to-one via YouTube, Facebook, because it makes it a little bit easier that way, but that depends on if you are part of the Facebook group, which is also free to join. And the links should be in the description box and down below of this video. If it's not, check on one of the older ones or shout and I will try and remember it and pop it into the description box for you. I've still got two of you sneakily watching and not chatting. What are you making? What are you doing? Are you stuck doing housework? Or are you sitting down crafting? Okay. Right, let's move on to the next bit of the room. Ignore the red bag. Okay, just ignore it. That will hopefully disappear soon. That's one of 9 lots that I've put up on Facebook Marketplace. It's a local collection only, I'm sorry to say, unless you're in the Gloucestershire area within about a 10-mile or so from me, then I'll deliver it for cake and a half-hour crafting session. I thought it was a nicer way. It's a nice way of doing it. The problem is that they weigh so much, and I haven't got the energy to carry from the car to the post office to get it out at the moment because of the back issues, and my husband is working out of the house for the next week or so. What I should explain is that my husband can work remotely, or he does work remotely for the majority of his work week, and may only go into his work office twice a week, but they've got something that they're working on at the moment where he is going to have to be in Monday through Friday for the next 2 weeks so that they can get it done, because he has to work on secure systems. So that means I've got to step up and start cooking dinner again. I've managed 2 this week. So it's not too bad. I'm getting there. I'm getting back to cooking. We had lasagna last night and I got compliments. They said they love my lasagna. They can't believe they haven't had it in such a long time. All the ingredients are always in the fridge, and it's just out of a jar. You just got to mix the sauces the right way, because they've decided they don't like my homemade tomato sauce that I do with it. Yeah, so it's just a Almio from the shop. It's not a difficult lasagna to do. Really is lazy. So yeah, we had lasagna, and what did we have the day before? Oh yeah, it was a chicken with mixed veggies, all cooked together. Normally you buy them from you buy this sachet from the shop, and it's a sachet of the powder and a plastic like a bag that you can put in the oven, and you just shove all the ingredients in, shake it around and do it like that. Well, I got all the ingredients, but I couldn't find the mix, so I made my own mix up and shoved that in the oven, stuck some foil over the top. It was all right. It wasn't anything special, but anything to try and get them to eat more vegetables. Okay, so come on, someone chat to me so at least I know that this live is working, because at the moment I can see it bouncing up and down between 2 and 3 people, but nobody's chatted. I'm gonna say hi. So fingers crossed. I'm just in one of them cheeky moods. Okay, so let's go back to the background. Right, up over this shoulder here is the unicorn pillow. That is one of the very early tutorials on the channel. There is also a written pattern for it as well. It's really simple to do, although it may look a little bit difficult. If you can make a hat, you'll be able to make that one. And next up, you can see at the bottom of the little bird cushion that goes along with the little bird C2C blanket. Now there is the tutorial on the channel for the cushion, I believe, and the cushion and blanket are all tied together in the same pattern. So if you purchase the pattern, you're getting 2 for 1. Nana Michelle, welcome in, darling. She's saying good morning. Got woken up by the cat jumping on her from the top of the curtain. So much for sleeping in, little toe rag. Just the top of the curtain. My old Pipsqueak, she used to I don't know, it took us a while to work out how she was doing it, but she would be sitting on the top of doors, and if you walk through, she'd jump on you or slap you, and it'd be either the kitchen or the lounge door. But that used to be her fun place, unless her and Liam were getting into something they shouldn't be. But yeah, she got squidged. so she's no longer with us. But yeah, I remember the top of the curtains. When she was a kitten, she actually got in between the lining and my curtain for my curtains. So I've still got the curtains, but the lining has just got so many claw, like where she's climbed up it, and all the weave has broken. So I've got so much weave issue on them. I think if I washed them, ironed them when they were damp, I might be able to put the backing back together, but to me they're a story and a memory, so I'll leave it until they need washing. And so Nana Michelle, what are you up to, darling? Are you crocheting and knitting, or still trying to wake up because that coffee hasn't hit yet? Right, so let's go back to the background. At the moment, we've got some more yarn here that I've hand dyed that hasn't gone up. I need to make some labels, but it turns out I've lost my labels. I've lost the file for my labels, so I've got to remake labels. Oh, I've just had buttons come up that says add tool running 49. I've skipped it. Fingers crossed it skips for you guys as well. If it does turn up, just shout, oh, ads, and I'll try and be quiet for like 15 seconds. It's alright, I just turn my back. I just, no. She's never done it before, so you bet you got up. Oh, please don't tell me you fed her as soon as you got up, otherwise she'll think that's a new way to get food. Make them wait until they're nice to you. Oh dear. Right, so yeah, I was saying about the yarn, I've got to remake my labels so that I can label the newer ones that I've dyed. So as you can see in the background, there are some with some bands on. Then my second, not my last set of dyeing, but the previous one. So they were sort of, when did I do them? I can't even remember. But they're there as well. But if you want to have a look at any of them closer, just sort of give me a rough idea of the colour or where they're placed above and around my head, and I can take it off and bring it closer to you. Now they are available to purchase, but I'm sorry to say it's only for the UK crazies, because postage out of the UK for 100 grams is more than what I charge for the yarn. So it's really, it's not worth it. You may as well go more local to you. But I know it sounds really horrible, doesn't it? But I'd prefer it that way, because not only that, there is a higher chance that it will get lost in transit as well, and I don't want that happening. Oh, what's Nana said? She says, coffee, no crochet yet. Not sure what to work on today. Pretty yarn behind you. Thank you. If you tell us which one you want to have a look at, I'm happy to show it off, darling. It's all hand dyed, or hand painted, depending on the term you want to use. Hand painted cotton, and it's either in a UK DK or a UK fingering, which is, oh, I've got to get it right now, haven't I? 3-weight or a lace weight for US, and a 8-ply or a 4-ply for Australia. Oh my word, my brain worked. To think, I didn't think it would today. I really didn't. So you got no idea what to crochet. How many projects have you got on the go at the moment, Nana? Sorry, I should call you Michelle, but I read the first bit normally of someone's name, and as long as it isn't rude, that's the bit I normally use. Because I've been proper daft this week. As some of you know, hopefully you do, Nana. I've not been able to crochet for about 3 months because my wrist was really bad. It was clicking. Well, you name it, it was doing it. So I stopped crocheting and took up knitting. That's how much I wanted to keep up with yarn art, because I've always said, haven't I ain't knitting, I hate knitting. I've done it in the past, but I could only do the knit cast on and do the knit stitch. I couldn't do anything else. Well, I'd had enough of knitting. It bores me. Absolutely and utterly it bores me. So I tried a couple of tougher patterns which haven't gone down too well with me. They've yeah, the amount of I've had to frog one project so much that I think the yarn is going to give up. I really do. Oh no, hold on, Nana is saying sad, but she understands. Last time she got yarn from the UK, it got lost and showed up months after she got a refund. Oh blimey. If that's a big company, I'm assuming you kept stum. Right, okay, but going back to it, yeah, I was so bored and my hand has felt okay for the last few days. So I came up here and I've got a box of projects that are I really don't ever want to play with you again, but I need to because I can't frog you projects. And the reason I can't frog them is because the yarn's been cut multiple times. So if you frog it, you're going to lose half the yarn. And there's one yarn that I'd been wanting, that I'd purchased, and for me at the time it was a lot of money, and to be honest it still is a lot of money for me, which is the Yarn Art Flowers cake. Now I can show it to you a bit, it's a bit squashed. So let's fix it. But yeah, so this is the Yarn Art Flowers cake that I'm working on. I cannot tell you whether oh, wrong way, there we go, or whether this colourway still exists without having to go on a little adventure. But yeah, I've really wanted to work with this. It was sitting up on my side for a while and I finally had found a pattern. Now this is like 2 years ago. I found a pattern in this book. That's all I can do with it, right? And I started making it. Now I'd always wanted a circled waistcoat. Okay, I'd seen them, I thought they were really lovely. So I saw this one in the book. Okay, so there's the front. And there is the back. And what I will do after the live is I will put a link to the book review for this one, where I show you the rest of the patterns in there, because it's already been done and dusted. Oh, hold on, what we got? Nana's got 7 projects in the works. Pick the smallest. At least if you pick the smallest one, there's a chance of finishing it and you can get a happy buzz. And then you can move on to the next smallest. Higgy? Hopefully I've said that correctly. If I haven't, could you just type your name phonetically, so how it would sound, and I will attempt it again. But I'm going to say Higgies. She's crocheting a top for her daughter-in-law. Only started learning earlier this year and she's obsessed. You sound like me, girl. Apart from I've been going for quite a while now, but when I first started, oh yes, I was obsessed. If I could get a project out a week, I was happy. If it was hats, I would want at least 2 to 3. But good for you for going for the larger project. Oh, Nana, you haven't enlarged me on the telly. She's saying, bear with me, typing on the phone, got you on the TV. Oh no, it was one of the poor plies. Oh, okay, so she was saying that the yarn that she got was from Daniel. Now this is in regards to the one that got lost in the post and then arrived quite a few months later. Daniel was so nice about it. He tried to, Nana tried to repay, but he said no. Bonus. Oh, I said it correctly. Yes, now I've got to try and remember how I said it. Shakita, welcome in, darling. She's saying good morning and blessings and coffee. And Nana's saying hi to Higgy. Higgy's saying hi to Nana. Right, okay, so as I was saying, I was trying to... Come on back, because I'll give you a little visual reminder. Right, I was trying to make this a vest. Okay, now... This book didn't look too bad, apart from, of course, I work in American terms, not English terms. The book's written in English, so I have to translate it from English to American to then do it on the quick. I can do it on the slow and work from English terms, but I'm having to correct my brain every time. So it's easier if I correct my brain and write it out in American terms and work from the American terms. So that's what I did. Now, the first section, the middle section, actually has a chart. So it takes you up to, I think it's round 18. No. Yeah, well, it takes you up to a low round, okay? And so where I was getting confused with the written pattern because there was a lot of extra words in it for me. I like quite short, sharp patterns, but don't panic if I write them a bit long-winded for you, if I deem it, if you need to, if it needs to be. Well, this one is extremely long-winded for each section. It's really annoying. So of course I've cut it down, I've translated it, I've cut it down, I've then done, and I ended up using the chart because I thought, you know what, I need to learn to do read from charts anyway. So I did the chart section. It all went fine. But when I got to round 20, my numbers, was it round 20? No, round 19, sorry. My numbers didn't match. I was meant to have 180 stitches. I had something like 73. So I've had to rip it back. I've had to try it again. I've had to rip it back. I had to try it again. Or at least, no, I hadn't. First of all, I thought I had it right, but didn't notice the number. So when I've come back to the pattern, it was sitting on round 20. Now, there is no chart for anything I'm now working. So I can't look at it and go, oh, you dopey woman, you've put something in the wrong spot. Or, oh, you dopey woman, you meant to do some complicated stitch and you hadn't even noticed. And that's what actually happened on round 20. I was meant to add a combination stitch in, but I hadn't written the combination stitch down. So because I didn't have the combination stitch, I didn't have enough placements for the next round, the next round, or the next round. But I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to keep going. I'm just reading things wrong. Maybe it's a typo, because I know that this book has a couple of typos in it, but I don't know on what patterns and I don't know where. So I kept going. And then I woke up the next morning and I'd got 4 rounds done and I was super happy. Then I looked at it and it's like, put blah, 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 do this, do that, do the other, so and so amount of times. And I'm like, I'm on the seam section for the underarms. There is no way I can correct the math. No way at all. So I ripped it back. And then found my mistake and then did that row. That row was perfectly fine. Move on to the next row and the numbers are out again. So do I put it back in timeout? So far, that's as far as I've got. But I'm quite happy with it. But this is the section I'm working on and I'm literally 1 round into it. So yeah, quite a way to go, but it's been sitting like this, excluding these rows. So I'd finished up to, well, I'd finished past, I got up to about here, but ended up ripping it right back and going from the little flower round, because I could work out what that round was on the pattern. But otherwise it's been an absolute mare. So that was my argument for this week. It'll probably be an ongoing argument unless I just look at it and go, do you know what, I've had enough. And then I'll put it back in time out for another year or so. Oh, come back up here, you. excuse me. As you can see, that's what I've stripped back quite a few times now, that little section. I ended up cutting the yarn. I was like, I can't keep working with all this extras. Okay, so what you've been chatting about? Higgy's saying she's been doing a baby hexicardis and just finished a shawl for her sister. She's done a few beanies. Knitting has taken a backseat. I don't blame you. Knitting takes forever. Absolutely forever. Even if you're a bit of a speed demon, crochet so much quicker. Okay, what else has been said? Nana's saying she's heard a lot of people in the UK use US terms. Once she learnt charts, she preferred them, no translation needed. Yeah, exactly. I think the reason quite a lot of UKers, well, for me anyway, I learnt American terms because they were the channels that I came across first on YouTube. It was actually Bag a Day. But it's all Bag a Day's fault. No, it's not. It's actually my best big sissy's fault, because she tried to get me to do a granny square. I just couldn't do it, but I wasn't going to let it win. So I tried again later and did the pumpkins instead that you can't see at the moment. So yeah, I learned American terms, so that's why my tutorials are in American terms. If you would like them in English terms, I can give it a go, and I can also translate the written patterns to English if you would like them. I've got the poppy pattern that's in English. I tried everything to get people to join me in that poppy challenge. Sarah, welcome in, our cheeky crafty moo Sarah. She says she's just got in from breakfast with her hubby. Right, where's me bacon butty, woman? How you doing, darling? What are you going to be getting on with crafting today? I must admit, I think quite a few of us, Huggy, oh, you've retracted the message. Why? There was nothing naughty in it. Quite a lot of us that take on a big project, normally you will find a creator that you're comfortable with, you're confident with, and that teaches the way that you understand it the easiest. With Bag a Day, she works tirelessly. Well, I can't even say the right word today. She's absolutely amazing, and she taught me so many things, but then I tried not to get too stuck with one creator, so I would bounce around and try and find others, and see how they taught and see if I could understand them. And I can do it when I'm looking for a new stitch or I'm trying to think of new ideas and things. I'll bounce around every now and then. Oh, you did kill a queen. Okay, now I understand why you cut it out. You was hunting for the name of that shawl. I didn't actually do that one. Higgy's saying it was one of Bag a Day's shawls that she'd done, a Killer Queen, I think she called it. Yeah, there is definitely one called Killer Queen. Beautiful shawl, but I don't really wear them, so I did one of hers. I cannot remember what it was, but it had puff stitches. After the second repeat of puff stitches, I gave up and went, I ain't doing no more puff stitches. So I just kept going with the rest of the pattern, ignored the puff stitches. It's nice and long, but I can only say like a quarter of it is her pattern. The rest of it is just plain and simple. It's not one I would say is mine or anything like that, because it started with hers and I used all her math to make sure I kept my edges in the right spot. I'm trying to think where that one is. I think that's in my bedroom. But yeah, I haven't done another one of her shawls. Sarah's doing a mini Halloween pumpkin gnome at the moment. Oh, I love your little gnomes. They're so cute. Actually, where was it? I haven't looked through for ages, but there it is. Was it from this book? Is it this one, Sarah? Sarah, did you get it from this one? Okay, so Killer Queen did have a puff stitches, Higgy's saying. As I said, I really cannot remember. It's been such an age since I looked at it. Well, since I did it. I think I actually made it before I started the channel 4 years ago. So it was either 4 years ago, like, it would have either been made in 2019 or 2020, if that helps you work out whether it was Killer Queen or not. No, it's an Etsy pattern. So it's not this one then. I'm not sure of that one, to be honest. The nose looks a bit weird for me. I think that's why I've not made them. The nose is just too nosy. So Sarah was saying it wasn't one of them ones. Nanan's saying that she makes a ton of shawls but she doesn't wear them herself either. She just likes making them and she ends up giving them away. I wish I could. I've got an entire wardrobe stacked of stuff that I've made, and my extended family are like, we don't like crochet. We don't like holy things. So I'm like, okay, fine. And my youngest is very clumsy like I am, and she's like, Mum, if you could make it so it's solid and not got a hole in it that I can catch myself on a door handle, then yes please. So at the moment I'm just sort of sitting there thinking, well, what can I make her that sort of feels a bit lightweight? So she may end up getting something knitted, but that's if I can talk her into taking it, because she doesn't want to destroy anything that I've made, and she's a clumsy klutz just like me. It did look rude, didn't it? I think it needs a different nose style. I think the nose style threw those ones for me, and I think I could quite easily put a different nose on it. But then if I'm showing it on the channel saying, oh look what I've made it's on from this book, it's not completely, because I've adapted it to make it look a bit better for me. Sorry, that was in regards to what Sarah was saying. Haggie's saying she gives all her projects away so far, but I hope to do something for herself after Christmas. Ooh. There's lots of lovely patterns out there. It depends on what you fancy doing at the time, isn't it? As I said, I'm arguing with, I don't think you saw it, Sarah, when you came in, but you might recognise it. I've gone back to arguing with that pattern. I've ripped it back far too many times. I really hope it does get fixed. I really hope I do finish it, because the yarn feels lovely, and the way it's looking, I might not end up using the whole cake. I've got a feeling I might only use half of it, and if that's the case, I would happily have the next colour in the sequence, because the yarn I'm using is the Yarn Art, and starts with blue, goes into white, then it goes white black, then it goes black. So if it turns out that this yarn I only need half of it, and I managed to get through it, and I keep notes on what I did this time round, I might actually go and make it again, you know, but have it as a black and white. That'd be quite cool. But if I end up using more of it, I end up using more of it. It is a lovely pattern, Sarah. It is just obnoxious. I'm having to translate it from English to American, and it's got too many words in it for me. So of course, as I'm reading it, the words are bouncing here, there and everywhere. So for any of you that don't know, I am dyslexic, so when I look at words sometimes I might read what you've written round the wrong way. So if I'm reading, I will pause, read through it twice and then read it out. Just on the off chance, because there are going to be someone's going to put a word in one day and I am going to read it wrong, but that is not a challenge to do it today, please don't. Yeah, so that was that pattern. Oof. Okay, another thing I've been working on, give me a moment, is sewing the monstrosity of a knitted jumper. Now, I didn't bring the pattern book up with me, I left it downstairs. But this jumper is meant to have a section that comes across the top here that's all decorative, that I've made twice, like the pattern said, that I sewed on to one side. And then when I put it up against my body, I realised that my armpits, the bottom of the armpit hole, or this hole here for the sleeve, that was sitting where my belly button is, so it wasn't gonna work. So I ended up unpicking. I was so thankful I picked the right strand to cut. I was like, please don't cut the main jumper, please don't cut the main jumper. So I managed to cut the place I needed to, ripped it back, and those two panels are sitting downstairs. I'm still trying to work out what I'm going to do with them. I might, there's a couple of different ideas. I might be able to use them to extend the sleeve, or maybe I could and do some more of it, which I wasn't too keen on after a while, and make it into a cowl, a jumper with a cowl. But this is what I got so far. I've got 2 front panels, 2 sleeves, and I'm just in the process of sewing the thing up. So there we go. So yeah, I've got the 2 sides sewn. I've sewed the 2 sides and half a sleeve, so I'm getting there. Oh, I have got the decorative section. It looks like a really nice crochet pattern, but it isn't. It's a knitted. To me, when I look at it, it looks like the Drunken Granny for the middle sections. I'm just sitting there going, how could I get that, like that middle section there, to work in crochet? Because I would happily sit there, if I could work out how to crochet this pattern, I'd happily sit there and crochet this pattern onto the top. But knitting it, you have to knit it that way. And it's just like, so tedious, so boring. Well, it's not, it's confusing, and it got ripped back far too many times. Yeah, it does look lovely. It's going to look lovely. It's just going to be a plain jumper now, though. Those strips that I showed you are not going to get added to the jumper because I've over knitted the front and the back section. I don't know how. I've done it exactly how the pattern said, but yeah, it's definitely been over knitted. I think once I sew up, I'm going to sew up half of the other sleeve. And then I'm going to tack it together and then put it on before I work the next section. Oh, stupid tags. Yeah, before I work the next section, because then I'll know whether I'm still stupid and I should have added that panel or not, and then I can add it if I need to. But thank you ever so much, girls, for saying it's lovely. It did look like a lovely easy pattern, but not for a new knitter. I've been also working on putting my next, hold on, are any of you interested in this one? It's the tutorial that's going on at the moment for the dress version, but as you can see, you can make it into a top instead. Both of those patterns are of course written on the written pattern available on Ravelry. Link is in the description box down below. Okay, so some of you know we've got Piggy, and we got, oh croaky, don't you dare, and we got Cheeky Monkey. Now these are the 2 little rucksack bags that I've made so far, and I was working on a duck, but it looks really strange without ears, so I don't quite know what I'm going to do yet. But duck's getting there. The head's now sewn on. I'm just trying to get the face details correct. Okay, so Nana's saying beautiful. She loves knit things, just can't knit. Hurts her hands too much. Ooh, okay. I'm the opposite. I use it to relax my hands with the crochet at the moment. Purple, welcome in, honey. She's saying afternoon to everybody. I need to do a moo, please. Look, don't. Okay, there is a moo head floating around this room somewhere. Or partial. It's parts of a moo head are floating around. And it will be called... it's going to be called... No, I'm not going to tell you, Sarah. I think people can probably guess what it's going to be called. But, yeah, that's going to be an advanced head. And I don't quite know where I've put it at the moment, which box of unfinished projects it's in. Because I started making it and then realised that my colour choices weren't what I wanted. It didn't come out the way I was thinking. No, it's not a moo bag. No, not moo bag. Or cow bag. But we might end up calling it that by the time we're finished. But yeah, it's a case of I know. The thing is, I have to, when I'm making one of the bags, I have to make the whole bag. I can't just get away with making the feet, the hooves, and the heads. I have to make the whole thing, and those bags, because I'm working 2 strands of yarn on a smaller hook, they hurt my wrist. So it's like, I've got the ideas, and I've got the patterns, and I can make the components, but putting them all together is what's going to kill my wrist off again. And it's only just coming back so that I can actually knit. No, Purple, I haven't got a giraffe in the mix yet. I've thought of a frog, and I've thought of the method for the frog. I've just got to make the parts. But if any of like Sarah, Purple, if you want to test and you're willing to take me some super cool pictures of your test project once it's done that I can use for the advertising side of it, please please message me, and I will start working on the main section, the sections of the patterns that I would need to, which are the head and feet and stuff. But Sarah, you might not like me when it comes to the hair. For the moo, which is not being called the moo. Yeah, I wonder how I could do the giraffe. Yeah, oh, sorry, I was dazing. I had a bit of a moment there. I was just having a memory thing when we went to the zoo with my daughter. We actually got to feed giraffes, including the cheeky male giraffe, who had been brought in as a breeding program, but he was on he was the one on contraceptives, and well, 7 out of 8 ain't bad, I suppose. Because of course he was on contraceptives, so they put him out with the girls, and now 7 out of 8 have babies, and they were only planning sort of 1 breed cycle each, and they were planning to hopefully have 1 give birth and then the next one get pregnant, not all of them within the same month. So yeah, so they've got to look after him for another 2 years, and then he will get moved to another zoo, to have fun with the girl giraffes there. There is a video showing him on the channel. I'm trying to think what it's called. It will be in last year's, was it last year's videos? It was for her birthday, or was it? But there is one. If I remember, I will link. Actually, I really should be taking notes of what I'm meant to be putting in the description box. I just have to watch my own video back and do it slowly. But yeah, there is a video where you get to see some tigers, and you also get to see the giraffes. A lot more of the giraffe than the tiger, because you're not allowed to film in the tiger enclosure. But that was amazing. Steve, welcome in, darling. He's saying, howdy, Angela. Howdy, everyone. You're one of the sneaky lurkers. Thank you for saying hello. So, are you crafting at all today, Steve? Or are you just having a nose around? I've got the live chat on. It's quite quiet. You guys are keeping me going, bless you. I've got 6 of you here now. So thank you very much. Oh, do me a favour, gang. If you haven't already, can you hit that thumbs up button? Hopefully then YouTube will realise that I'm here, and it will tell a couple more crazies to come in and say hello. Oh, Sarah, did you commented a little while ago in Facebook about the yarn that I dyed in a box, in the plastic box, and you were like, oh, I really like the look of that. Do you want to see it? Steve is getting breakfast ready at the moment, but has a thought could... Hold on. Give me a minute, Steve. Just got to translate that to my brain cell. It's getting breakfast ready at the moment, but has a thought. Could flap be like a shirt collar or such? In what context, darling? It's not sinking in today, darling. Knitting. Purple was saying that she fed the giraffe at her local wildlife park for her 50th. It was amazing. They are, aren't they? They're such gentle giants. Yeah, we were really lucky. We paid for the experience to feed the tigers, which we got to do, and the keeper that was with us was enjoying my daughter's commentary as much as anything, because she loves animals. She should really go and work in a zoo. She's so factual about anything. You stick an animal in front of her, she'll probably give you 30 facts about it. And so we've done these sort of things for a while. Which one was it? Rainbow, those ones. Yeah, so we've done these before, where she's done zookeeper for the day. She told the zookeeper more facts than he knew, and she was only 8. So she's gone through all of the different zookeeper experiences apart from the tigers, which was the one she wanted to do. And because I've been the one that had always taken her to these experiences and then sat back and read or done whatever to fill in the time while I waited for her, I was like, if we're going to do the tigers, I'm going. And my husband's like, yeah, but darling, it's for 2 people or 4. I said, we'll find a 4th. I'm going. So we ended up going, and yeah, it was amazing getting to feed them meat through the cage, but off of a little stick, and being told not to step past a line. So it was really, really fun. Oh, okay, for the monkey or pig bag. Right, so let me see. Let me just show Sarah the yarns quickly. They didn't come out as set rainbow like they did from the photo, Sarah. We've got 2 sets. Well, because it was layered, the bottom layer is darker than the top layer. So here is the bottom layer. If you want me to open one of them up so you can see it a bit more, just say. So yeah, and I've hanked these up differently so that you get to see more of the colours in them. So it's like one I've hanked from 9 and 12, and the other one has been from 3 and 6 on these ones. So that's why they look a little bit different in the hanks, but otherwise they look pretty good together. And then this is the top layer, which, as you can see, is lighter on the shades. Oh, let's put it round because one side is brighter than the other on the screen. There we go. And so I hope you've spotted that now, Sarah. Okay, so going back to Steve's thought, right, he'd said, could flap be like shirt collar or such for the monkey or the pig bag? Okay, so you're talking this little bit here. Yes, I possibly could turn it into a collar. What were you thinking, mister? At the end of the day, they're quite simple. That is quite a simple pattern. Okay, both hold on, both liking the top layer. Right, I'm going to open the top layer up for Sarah and Purple to have a look at. Okay. Oh, it doesn't show it justice. Why is that looking white? That's flipping vivid pink. These are purples up this end. It doesn't show it justice on camera. Right, okay. Oh, let's try it that way. So we've got an orange, the orange section coming down. There is no white in this, by the way. That was just bleaching from the camera. Okay, coming down, we've got pinks, purples, blues on the back. There's the back, some blues. I'm trying to think what shade of blue that would be. I don't know, because it's got a blue-green mix in it. It's actually really cool. I like that. Okay, and coming down again into purples with mixes of pinks in it as well. Maybe I should close my curtain. And then coming into purples at the bottom. Okay, so that's what the top layer looks like untied. Okay, sit back from the camera and you can see that, and then it's just coming in close for my favourite section. Where are you? Oh, there it is. There we go. That's my favourite bit. Okay. Okay, so hold on. That's there. Right, okay, so top layer, gorgeous. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Steve is saying elephant ears, hide it whilst ears on others don't. Just thinking, that's all. Oh, you mean right on the monkey? Yeah, it does take up more room on the monkey. The elephant is a completely different pattern, darling. That is a snuggly or a rucksack as well. Depends on what method you're using to make the base. That pattern again is available on Ravelry, or at the moment there is the tutorial that's coming out in parts for the elephant, but you'll only be making the smaller one. You won't be making the rucksack bag or pyjama case, depending on what you want to call it. Because I don't give you those details. That's why it's a 2-for-1 on the pattern. Oh, what is going on? I cannot do this. Oh dear, what have I done? Sorry, I was just trying to crank this back up, but it turns out I was holding it skew-if. There we go. So yeah, I like the lighter one of these, but I do also prefer the darker one, because the darker ones, the colours are a bit more vivid on that mixed section that I showed you. Let me just argue with it a bit more while I tie it back up. Okay, now I don't know if I've matched this with the other one or what. There we go. Yeah, so those two are the lighter ones, and then the darker one, I'm just going to bring it up to the camera like this. That's the section I like on the darker one, all the mix and matchy colours. But yeah, as I said, I'm happy to sell these as sets of 2. Don't particularly want to split them because they are on the DK base. I think they're on the DK base. I'll double check it. They feel like they're on the DK base because that's 100 grams. Yeah, no, they're both on DK, so it's 100 grams in each hank. But they're both, all of them are up for sale. So just give me a nudge, and it is first come first served. So I'm evil like that. Right, that one there. That one there. That one there. And that one there. Yeah, so that's one of the colourways I must admit I did like, Sarah. The other ones, I don't know if I've shown you guys properly yet the video where I made it, but I found some old dye that I hadn't used last time, and I was like, I know people say don't use old dye, I wonder why. I'm just going to try it and keep this one for myself, whatever. And so I put all the dye out and I'd hand painted it, and it looked amazing. It was going to be called Fireside. It looked like I had an inspiration in my head of a burning log fire and all the rest of it, like a campfire. And when it came after, I'd left it for 24 hours to let the dye really sink in, and I was like, right, I've given it more time than normal. I've double treble heated. I've done more than I should have to it to try and keep this dye in. When I washed it, there was next to no colour left. I was just like, you are joking. The more I washed it, the more it came out. And I was like, okay, so now I know why we don't use old dye stock. So I had another go at it, and I got this I got this colourway instead. So it's got some brown, it's got some oranges, some yellows, and some pink shading. It didn't go bright red, which is what I was trying to aim for. It didn't quite go bright red, but I must admit I did like that one, or I do like that one. And that one is on the 50/50 base, so it's a 50 grams fingering. Steve, I've spoken about the elephant ears, haven't I? Yeah, done that. Sorry, I'm just reading back on the live chat to make sure I haven't missed any out. Yeah, and you could, in theory, if you did purchase either the monkey or the pig pattern, you could, in theory, with a little tweak, turn the bag into an elephant as well. So if you wanted to do that, either buy the the pig or the elephant, and then send me a message going, oi, I bought it. Give us the adaptation so I can turn it into an elephant. I'll happily do that, I don't mind. But the bags will not be coming up on the channel as tutorials. That there's just too much work, and it's very uncomfortable for me to make the bags, and to make them under a camera would make it even worse because I have to hold my wrist at an awkward angle to get under the camera, and I'm not doing that to my hand. There is no way that I'm setting my wrist back again. It's taken me 3 months so that I can pick up a crochet hook. Not good. Okay, who wants a little bit of quiz time? And just to keep our brains active. It's not for prizes or anything. It's just for a bit of bragging rights, I suppose, and a bit of fun. I picked up some new questions. And these are on film and TV. I don't know the ages of the TV or anything, but I'm hoping it'll be stuff that we'll know. Oh my gosh, it's written on red and yellow backed. This is going to be fun. I can read the yellow with red writing, but the red with yellow, no, might have issues there. But is anyone interested in a cheeky quiz? Because you've all gone very quiet in chat. Anybody? Oh, that's really going to annoy some of us. Burble's giving me a heart. I'm assuming that's a go for it, girl. Okay, I'm going to skip that one. I'm not going political straight off the bat. Ah, Sarah's knitting and listening and crocheting. Sorry, Sarah. Didn't mean to say you're knitting. What is going on? I keep pulling them out and I know exactly what TV show they're about. Which in one hand is good, on the other hand isn't. Because there's been a lot of grief. Okay. No. Not mixing up with you. Ah, here's a safe one. Okay, remember it's just for bragging rights that you managed to that you've got the question correct, and if none of us get this, I'm gonna be surprised. Okay, who played Buffy in the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Doom. So, are any of you gonna give it a go? Purple. Come on, one of you write the answer in. The question is, who played Buffy in the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I'm happy just to take her initials because you can do that one-handed. Or with your nose. Really? None of you know it? Really? Dear. Sarah never watched Buffy. You need to. You missed out there, girl. You really did. Angel. Even if it was just for Angel. Okay, so it was Sarah. Purple didn't either. Right, okay. No, I'll give you the answer then. Sarah Michelle Gellar. She was also in Scooby-Doo, the live action replay, and I think she was in Scream as well. Some of these are really weird. Okay, right. Hold on. The girls that are chatting are British. If an American wins this, they're getting a pattern. Right. Are you ready? No. Right. So we go. Edna and Patsy were characters from which TV show? I am sitting here till one of you answers. Because you girls never watch Buffy. If you never watch this, I'm going to be so upset. Okay, it's Edna and Patsy were characters from which TV show? One has a severe drinking problem and the other is just a problem. Iggy got it! Absolutely a fabulous. Congrats, honey. You've got yourself some bragging rights. Woo! Oh, now you guys all go in. Are you just copying now? So that's a one to Higgy. Okay. Oh, God, I've got. Right, I'm going to read this one out. It's another one that I know the answer to, which is really bad. But I've got a feeling that none of you are going to know it. What is the name of Jughead Jones's gang in the TV series Riverdale? Did any of you watch Riverdale? Because you didn't do Buffy, and it's along the same lines. Not only that, it's more recent. This century. Rubbish. But we'll see if any of you've got any ideas. No, Sarah hasn't got any ideas. Okie dokes. Didn't watch it. Okay. No, Higgy doesn't know this one, and Purple doesn't either. Come on, we got 3 more watching. Go on, just stick the answer in. Okay, I didn't think we'd get this one. It's the Southside Serpents. Ugh. Okay. Right. Either these are really tough or they're just ones that we wouldn't know. Okay, so what's this one? Okay, let's see if any of you watched this one. This was quite a popular show when it came out. Which TV show is centred on the survivors of the Oceanic Airlines Flight 815 crash? Oh, so that is, which TV show is centred on the survivors of the Oceanic Airlines Flight 815 crash? I did watch it. The plot was a bit bleh, and I got a bit lost in it. I don't think I ever actually made it to the end. So I don't know if they got found. And I gave you the most almighty clue there as well. Almighty clue. Anybody? No idea, Sarah. I'm hoping you typed that before I gave the almighty clue. Because it seems that we're all very lost at the moment. Oh dear. Oh, we're not going to know that one. No, no ideas. What was it? Higgy, good guess at last. You're on 2 for 50 million. Purple, we'll ignore them next 2 words and just say lost. Oh dear. Okay, I'm trying to find ones that I think you're gonna know because there was hype around them or something. I didn't think these would be that tough. Nana's in with Lost. Hey, remember his bragging rights. Okay. UKers. Hopefully you watch this. I know I did because I loved this bloke. He made me laugh so much. Which chef was the presenter of the TV show Ready, Steady, Cook from 2000? You know, the one with the peppers and the green pepper and the red pepper. And then people used to vote for which dish they preferred, the green pepper or the red pepper. I would just vote for whatever this chef was cooking because it was funny. And so the question again was, which chef was the presenter of TV show Ready, Steady, Cook from 2000? That's the UK Ready Steady Cook. I'm sorry to say, not the American one. He may have done a guest appearance there. I just don't know. Right, we're definitely going to know that one. If we don't know that, I'm going to be upset. No, not James Martin. I think he was before James Martin. He reminds me a bit of Lenny Henry. But it isn't Lenny Henry. I don't know if that boy can cook. Higgy's saying that she can see him. What's his name? Oh no, Sarah can't remember his name either. Now, I could give you first or last. What do you fancy? First or last name? And see if you can finish it off. Actually, I'm going to go with the last. Oh no, I'm not. Purple got it. Did you Google it, girl? Congrats. It's Ainsley Harriott. Yeah, smiling, laughing, cracking jokes, being an absolute lunatic. Well, way to go, Purple. Hey, bragging rights. So we've got Purple against Higgy at the moment on a two for one. Mrs. C, you're alive. You're alive. Hello, sweetheart. Hiya, honey. We are doing a quick quiz. It's just to try and keep our brains active. It's for no prizes. I've got some new quiz cards. We're not having a lot of luck with them. I thought they would be okay. It's TV and film. Film and TV quiz. Quite a lot of the questions are based on English TV, but there are a couple of American ones thrown in as well. Teresa, welcome in, darling. She's saying hi. And Higgsy is saying, thank you, Purple. That would have tortured her all day, not knowing who the Ainsley Harriott was. Okay, let's see if we can find another one. I'm sort of reading through them thinking, well, that's been on the telly, that's been repeated, that could have made it to other countries. So we'll see how we go. All right. UK girls, if you fail this one, you are letting us down immensely. Okay. What's the name of the local pub in the TV series Only Fools and Horses? I'll say that again. What is the name of the local pub in the TV series Only Fools and Horses? You know, the one where he goes to lean on the bar and falls off. Okay, so Iggy's saying, and I read that one. Teresa's saying she's glad to be able to catch you live. It's lovely to see you here, darling. I'm sorry I've not been up to date with the lives. I'm sort of trying to bring them back, but at the moment it seems like it's going to be a once a month. Purple has gone and done it with the Nag's Head. It's a Nag's Head. It was a Nag's Head. So Purple and Iggy, you tie on too. I'm not going to be able to keep up with this mental math if a third person joins in, so make note of your numbers. And as I said, it is just for bragging rights. There's 9 viewers here at the moment. So hopefully one of you will get the next question. Higgy's saying she could probably name the characters from the sitcom, but not the pub. Yeah, it was a little bit on the tough one. Okay, name me the younger brother. No, best not. Because that's not a proper question. Oh, he's been in so many TV programs though, the younger boy. Actually, both of the actors have, haven't they? Okay. So let's go with the next one. Rodney, she's only gone and done it. Rodney, you plonker. You met the boy that played Trigger. Way to go, Purple. He's meant to be, well, they're all meant to be a really lovely lads. Really, I shouldn't really call them that, but that's how they'll always be in my head, is lads. Doesn't matter how old they get, they're always lads. Must be a southeast thing. Right, are you up for another question, girl? Okay, this one, I fingers at the ready. Okay, it is a fingers at the ready question. If you had a childhood, if you had kids, and if you only had 2 TV channels, you'll have this. Okay, what 2 cartoon bears live at Jellystone Park? And that's for everybody, really. Bound to have made it even to Australia. So that is, which 2 cartoon characters lived in Jellystone Park? Yeah, it's not Yabba Dabba Doo, that's the wrong programme. I'm being a twit. All about picnic baskets, though. Cheeky stealing picnic baskets. Iggy's in with Yogi and Boo Boo. A way to go. Knitting Purple's in second on that one. Ooh. That's on my screen anyway. Are you guys having fun with this? Or is it just a nice way to waste the afternoon? Yep. Is it Yogi and Boo Boo or Boo Boo and Yogi? It doesn't matter how you spell it. That's right, Purple. He's not your average bear. Are you going to get me to read all of their little lines, are you, girl? You're like, haha, I know this one. I know this one. Oh, Higgy's got a, she's saying, yeah, it's a fun while I wait on family getting here. The reason I'm squinting on that word is because there's a stupid love heart on my screen. And so I can't always get that last word. I have to try and guess it. So hopefully I got that right. So what time are the family due round, honey? Mine should be on their way back soon from the puppy walk. They go to a local massive woodland area where there's little like there's lakes and squirrels. Lots of squirrels who love to antagonise the dogs. At some point I'm going to have to get up there with a camera and record it. It's so funny. You have 2 squirrels in 2 trees and they tag team it and one will come down close to the ground and wiggle its tail. So Liam will go bolting for the squirrel. Squirrel runs up the tree. The other squirrel in tree 2 runs down, wiggles its bottom, so Liam runs to that tree and it runs up. And so the 2 squirrels are going like that and the dog's running backwards and forwards. 5 minutes playtime with the squirrels. And you can put him back in the car and he'll sleep all the way home. Yeah, it's really lovely to watch. Now, if he caught them, he would give them a kiss. Literally, there's been a time when one's come really close and they've nose bumped. So he knows not to be aggressive with them, and they know he's not going to be aggressive. It's just whether it's the same 2 squirrels that are playing with him each time he goes there or not, I'm not too sure about. Teresa's saying it's 7:20 AM here. You're in America, aren't you, babes? 5 hours behind. Sounds about right. Oh, Higgy's saying they're due anytime. It's a lovely day here, so we're chilling in the garden. Whereabouts are you, Higgy? Country will do. You don't have to break it down too far. You've got 7 making breakfast, Mrs. C. Oh, by the way, I saw one of your little people the other day on one of the Hobie lives. You got a shout out, you did. I think I saw you in the chat, but I'm not too sure because, of course, I'm not 100% what you would go by on there, or if I do know, I'd forgotten. Just the same as I'm not Poppy on Hobie Live. I'm Angela. How boring. So Mrs. C is going for a cuppa. 7's making her breakfast this morning. 7 is a very weird looking sun bunny that I made. Her eyes aren't quite in the right spot, the dip dazzle, and she hasn't got a round belly like my cheeky one here. She hasn't got a round belly like this one. No. Her belly is here, so she got a big bum, so she squashes your problems. So yeah. Evie is still there, darling. She's still in the mix with me on. She's protecting it, she is. Where are we going? Purple saying she normally spends Saturday with her mum, but mum's gone on holiday, so it's giving her a lazy Saturday. Oh, lovely. Teresa is saying it is 47 Fahrenheit where she is. Yes, ma'am, I am. America. I'm having to go back like 4 minutes in the conversation to work out what you're agreeing with there, T. Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome in, Beverly. She's saying, well, finally got you. Hello from Newfoundland. She's just doing a sunflower jacket. She's knitting a cable hat and doing a V-stitch blanket with all the colours in the world, and a granny blanket. Join as you go. How many? How many projects? How many hands you got, girl? So Higgy's in Scotland. In Berkshire. It's meant to be really pretty there. I haven't been to Scotland for a very long time. I went for my honeymoon to Scotland, to one of our friends' weddings. They came to ours and we got an invitation to go to theirs, so we were like, I hope you don't mind, we'll come to your wedding and then we'll use the rest of the time as our honeymoon. And they were happy with that, but we ended up taking my mother and father-in-law with us. So it wasn't really much of a honeymoon. Not when they were waking us up for breakfast at 7:30 in the morning and telling us they could hear things through the walls and could we keep it till we got home. Well, at least they didn't ask the grandkids straight away. So Teresa is in Minnesota, in the USA. Yeah, I saw Stephen's one, I think. Was it Stephen? No, it was Matt's one. And Mrs. C made some sun bunnies and sent them in to Stephen, Matthias and Gia. And Matthias, that's the younger one, isn't it? The young lad. He showed it on one of their lives. I think it was the shopping live. They are really cute, Beverly. They come. They all come with a little. Well, mine came with a little story. If you want to hear it, I've got an unboxing video on the channel. I'll see if I can find it and I'll link it below after the live, where I read out the little story that comes with the sun bunny. It's really cute. It's a beautiful thing that Mrs. C does. It really is. And where did we get to? Cute rabbit. I'm near Lanark, sorry. Oh, the World Heritage Site is beautiful there. There's going to be photographs online. We can all have a nose later. Teresa, you are insane, love. She says she has 3 different blankets on the hook. One of them being a king size one. Insane. Insane. Beverly's saying, I say not enough. They tells me, oh, knitting socks. You're knitting socks, are you? Are you working in the round or working flat or working on whatever's? Because, of course, with my wrist being wonky as it was, I ended up taking on knitting with socks. I showed them last weekend. That's my first pair, but I did them in the flats. I worked them flat and then sewed up, so they've got centre seams, because I couldn't work in the round. I couldn't do it. Having to keep pulling the cord backwards and forwards was really doing my head in. It took me longer to do that than it did to stitch, or sorry, to knit the 30 whatever amount of stitches I needed each side. So it really did my nut in. So I was like, I'm going flat. I could just go backwards and forwards and just turn my needles. Don't overstrain hand, honey. Yeah, so I did that one, and then I did a shorter pair using the same pattern as an idea and some different yarn, and I'm not keen on these ones. I don't like the colours. The length will fit. They will fit me until I put them in the wash and shrink them. Then Liam might end up with the multicoloured ones. So hang on, no. So yeah, Beverly wears knitting socks and dishcloths. Oh, you're on a little small island. Where are we? I'll have to read back up into chat. Oh, Newfoundland, Canada. That is a cute little island, though. Sarah said that she made some sun bunnies for her granddaughters for Christmas. They adore them. Oh, that is really sweet. I had to beg, borrow and steal the pattern because it wasn't out. I had to bribe a friend and promise to destroy the pattern. And once I'd finished with it, but it turned out I sort of mucked up the pattern to the point I probably destroyed it a little bit when I made 7. But I don't have a copy of that pattern anymore. I got rid of all of it as soon as 7 was made. I was like, right, she's done. I'm not doing it again. Delete, 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 delete everything. And that way I can't say, oh yeah, let's make one. So oh, sorry about that, Teresa. I must have missed the little pop-up because when setting up it does give me a time, and I missed clicking on the time and changing it, so I can't remember if it's like every 20 minutes or whatever, whether it stayed to the previous setting. When they come up, just click it off. I'm not going to force you to watch adverts. If they're forcing you to watch adverts, though, I am so sorry. As I said, I didn't sort that out before I came on live, but it's something that they've started doing now, is forcing ads during lives. So sorry about that, babes. Iggy says she hasn't tried a crochet blanket yet. Oh, well, you're still quite new, aren't you, darling? A nice one to start with it depends on if you like making granny squares. There are lots of different style granny squares out there. You could even copy this, which is a granny hexagon. You could copy that and turn that into a blanket. It's just the amount that you add as you go. But there are those ones are quite nice because if you're doing a granny square, you can make them on the go and then come back and sew them together later, or use one of the 15 million different joining methods. They're quite a good one. Or another one you could try is mosaic. There's loads of patterns out there. I've also got a little cactus one that you could do, but they they're going to take their time. They're nice and thick. I'll show you what I mean. Oh. Yeah. This is my one and only mosaic blanket. It didn't quite make it to blanket status. It's made it to bed runner status because it took a long time to do. But there we go. And this pattern is by Courtney over at Fibre Fox Studios. It's number 40 in her pattern charts. And I think she's got a live video up with it as well. Okay, and then the border is from one of her other patterns. It's a blanket style. What do they call it? Blanket border? Not blanket border. Envelope border. Which means you don't have to sew in all the ends. Because with this style, you are just working the row from left to right or right to left, depending on if you're left or right handed. You work in a row of single crochets and then a row of drop down double crochets. I prefer to watch Courtney at Fibre Fox Studios for her tutorial. The way she talks you through it was easier for me to understand at the beginning. But as I said, I have got a tutorial there if you prefer mine. But it's only for a cactus. It's only a little cactus. But they take a chunking amount of yarn. So if you're going for your first one, I would say pick a granny square or a hexagon or a granny circle or something like that. There's some really lovely ones about. If you give us an idea in the chat, the sort of things that you like, or the colours that you would like to play with or something like that, I'm sure we could throw out a few patterns. Let's jump down to the next one. Okay, so I've got a lot to get on. Right, so Teresa is saying those are cute. I'm assuming you're talking about the socks there. Thank you, darling. Oh, Purple's saying she likes knitting socks toe up. That's going to be my next challenge, I think, because socks took a lot less time than that evil jumper that's still not been sewn up. Beverly's saying she's using 4 needles. She's an old-fashioned girl, hasn't learnt the other methods for socks. So you're going backwards and forwards and sewing up the seam, darling? Or is there a way I don't know about that just means I can just do it on the quick? Yeah, as Teresa says, Piggy, sorry, if I'm saying your name wrong, please pop it out for me and into how it sounds. So Biggie, depending on the pattern, they are easy, just time consuming. That is the big thing, it's time consuming. And Higgy is saying that she was in your local airport, Beverly. I ain't attempting to say that. But she was just passing through. Higgy, says Teresa. Beverly's saying, I love your socks. Thank you. Stupid autocorrect, says Teresa. I don't know where you're going on. I don't know what bit you were talking about, babe. Purple was saying she's got 6 sweeps. But wants to make a list of about 25 items long. Purple, you're insane, honey. Insane. Higgy's saying she's been thinking of doing a granny square blanket, Teresa. But then sewing in all them ends is putting her off a bit. Now, if you wanted to do something like that, why not just do a continuous granny square? Just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going with a yarn that you love the look of. Maybe one that changes colour as it goes. And just make a massive large square and then do smaller squares running along the top and the bottom. That way you can take part of the project with you still and you haven't got as many ends to do. I hate ends. After 5,000 poppies, each one containing 8 ends, I hate ends. And I think that's only fair, don't you? Looking at the joining methods, good idea, girl. And that's gorgeous, thank you. Ninja, welcome in, my darling. Sorry it's taken me so long to get to you. Hiya, honey. Teresa's retracted a message. Oh, I wonder what that was. Purple's saying hi. And Nikki's saying, thanks, Poppy, that's so kind. I can't remember what that was. That was probably to do with the blanket and you telling us what you like, hopefully. And Teresa's saying, Purple, her want to make list. Oh, the want to make list is that long. No, I'm stepping away from wanting to make lists. And I've stepped back into get this flipping finished list. That's pretty much what I'm trying to work on at the moment, is clearing away some of the really old projects I've got so that I can get on and clear some room, basically. And he keeps saying I'm saying it fine. Thank you, darling. Ninja, says Sarah. Hi, Moo, says Ninja. Autocorrect said Piggy instead of Higgy. Ah, got you. Oh, that took me far too long to get to the bottom of that. Oh, thank you for telling me, Teresa. Right, Beverly says work on one needle, the next on the next one. 3 needles. Okay, so you're working on 3 double pointed, I'm assuming, instead of the 5 method. Oh, you are showing off, girl. Yeah, I haven't got them needles and I don't intend to get them and I don't want them. Not yet, anyway. I'll just go to my mum and borrow hers that are probably sitting in the cupboard somewhere because she keeps giving up on her knitting. Hickey's saying that's a good idea, Poppy. Aye, one huge granny square blanket could work. Yes, it could. If you want it to stay completely square though, remember to turn each round, or do your start rounds on the corner, not halfway along a line. I think my seat. I think that the brain needs to start working. the granny square that I've got on the channel in my Stitch a Week playlist, I think that would work perfectly fine for you to just keep extending the rounds on, and I don't believe that would tilt it at all either. Beverly is saying her favourite join as you go in the granny square method. Okay, I'm lost. I'm getting there again. It's been an hour and a half of chatting. My brain cells going to sleep. And Teresa's also saying, yes, again, one huge granny square would work. All right, so Beverly's still working for rounding the socks. This is getting really confusing for me, swapping between knitting and crocheting. Or should I say crocheting and knitting? Oh, whichever way round we want to play it. Just trying to think. What else have I come across? I've come across some right random stuff. Total random. I've got an entire bin here at the moment of old projects. And yes, you did see a square that never made it to the Stitch a Weeks. That's all right, Higgy. Higgy's saying thank you everyone for your advice. It's great. That's what we're here for, darling. If we can help you out, point you in the direction of something you want to make, then go for it. If I can point you in the direction of one of my tutorials, even better. But if not, we can always say to you, oh, try this creator. This is the name of the blanket you want to follow, or this is the name of the pattern you want to follow. At the end of the day, if we can keep you going and we can keep encouraging you, and we can maybe find a project that's each time that's a little bit more challenging than the one before, even better. Right, Beverly's back in to confluge me. So it looks square when knitting on the 4 needles. Okay, right, got you. Yeah, I've seen my mum doing that, but she's never been able to turn a heel, so she's only ever done tube socks. So she basically makes a long tube and sews up the end and says put your foot in, and wherever the heel fits is where your heel fits. But that's all she's ever done. She's never learnt to purl. She can only do the knit stitch, not the purl stitch, so there's no ribbing on them either. All of her blankets are exactly the same. It's all knit stitch every row. Yeah, knit stitch every row. So when I first learnt many years ago to knit, all I learnt to do was a basic cast on and the knit stitch. And then that's when I learnt to play around with yarn colours to create some sort of effect, which is why my very first knitted blanket was a little black and white squared thing for the baby's pram. But that was all done in knit stitch in 1999. Yeah. And it's only just been recently that I've picked up some knitting needles and started going again and learning everything else. But it's like with this one, this was what I call my learning. This was my learning top, because my nephew wants me to knit him a vest top that's a certain pattern from years gone by. And I was like, well, I've got to learn to purl. So I learnt to purl. I've got to learn to change colour. So I learnt how to change colour. And then it was like, I need to learn how to do floats. So I learnt how to do floats. And then I got bored about here because it was going to just be a blanket. And I got bored about here and I thought, well, I need to learn how to do the underarms. So I learnt how to do the underarms. Then I was like, oh, I need to learn how to do the V. So I learnt how to do the V. And then it was, oh, I need to learn how to put edging on. So I learnt how to put the edging on, after I'd sewn it up, of course. And then I was like, oh, I better put the bottom on, like edging on the bottom. So I did that as well. And then the second time out, I started from the bottom edging and worked my way up, and then did the same for the rest of it, because I've got a purple, a dark maroon purple one as well. So I'd done it again. So that was the very first thing I'd knitted outside of the blanket. And that was all the learning, so much so, don't ask, like, I haven't quite remembered how I did the decreasing, but it worked. That's all there was to it. So I had to make a second one because I was going to try and write the pattern out. But yeah, I did it and forgot what the coding was when I was trying to write it down. So it's not quite there yet. But yeah, that was my first knitted project after X amount, what are we on, 2004 in it, so 24 years. Alright, so let's have a quick thing. Thanks for the advice. We read through that one. Hold squares. My mum doesn't learn from videos. Sorry, Beverly's saying that's crazy about the heel. I can never understand that when they say they couldn't do the heel. Well, my mum doesn't watch YouTube videos. She doesn't really read crochet or knitting books either. So it's just, she'll try and work it out for herself, and she hasn't worked it out yet. So there you go. That's why she hasn't got the heel. And if I sat down and tried to show her how to do a heel, she would get irate because I'm trying to show her something when she's mummy and she's the one that's meant to show me what to do, not the other way around. Okay, so Beverly's also saying off I go to clean up for the day. Have a great weekend. Good to see you. Missed you. Bye, Beverly. See you soon, honey. Hopefully you're still listening a little bit. Hopefully we will see you again next time. Doris is saying bye, Beverly. Purple's saying she learnt to knit as a little kid and learnt to crochet as a teen, but only made something when I found out someone was having a baby. I think that's what I need to start doing, but I don't want to tempt fate. I don't want to be a nan yet, thank you very much. And my eldest is like 24 now, so hopefully I've got another 4 years. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, we got a little kid, learn to crochet. Yep. Sarah's saying, yay, another gnome complete. Sweet, we'll get to see that one next week. Hopefully, or when you show it off. Teresa's saying, I don't know how to knit, but I don't think I want to learn. In my mind, it takes a long time to knit. Don't blame you. Don't blame you, and fully agree with you. Yeah, as I said, I knitted when I was a nipper. It was the fact that I could not crochet, and in my head I'm like, if I can't crochet, I can't play with yarn. I've got all this yarn up here that I'm going to have to rehome if I can't do something with it. So I was like, I'm going to take up knitting again just because my nephew wants this top. I've got the pattern for it. I'm going to have to take some new measurements because I think that boy's grown again since Christmas. But it's just a case of having to learn what I needed to learn for that pattern. And once I'm done and I've made him that, I may as well stop. That's if the wrist lets me. If I still find it hard to crochet, then I'm just going to have to alternate between the two. So it'll be a row of knitting, a row of crochet, row of knitting, a row of crochet, and probably get confused and put them both in the same flipping project. But yeah, for years I was like, I'm not going back to knitting, not doing it, not going back to it, don't want to knit socks. And then Big Sis got me a ball of yarn and told me to knit a pair of socks. So I had no choice, I had to. Purple's saying, where was so Purple was saying in 2014 she had a heart attack through stress, and the doctors had told her to learn to knit. I told him I could. That was why I was giggling. It was that I told her he could. Well, you best do it more often then, girl. Purple, sorry, Sarah's saying bye to Beverly as well. Higgy's saying she's produced more crochet projects in the past 6 months than she has in 40 years of knitting. It's very addictive, isn't it? It's just one more stitch, because you know you don't have to get to an end of a row like you do with knitting. 9 out of 10 times you have to get to the end of the row and mark it out so you know where you got to. Half the time with crochet you can just go ha, stitch marker in. But the majority of us are like, no, I'll just get to the end of the row or the round. Oh dear, I've gone around, I'm halfway around the next row or round. And to me, I feel like crochet doesn't take half as long as knitting does. I could knock up a jumper crocheting when the wrist lets me. I can probably do it in a week of stints of about 12 hours a day. Knitting, it will take me 3 weeks of 12 hours a day. That may be because I'm still quite new to it. It may be because I'm still quite slow on the purl. On the knit, I don't even look at the needles. I just watch the telly and the row's done. Purl, I'm still watching what I'm doing. Where we gone? Fluffy! Welcome in, darling. Fluffy Kitten's in. She's saying hello there. Everybody is saying hello back to you as well. And Higgy's saying, yeah, I've been calling it an addiction. You admit to it? Shh! Don't admit to things like that, woman. None of us are addicted. Otherwise, they might want to put us somewhere where we can't touch our yarn and our hooks and our knitting. Don't stress out the poppy. Oh dear. Everybody is saying hello again to everybody. It's lovely to have you in, Fluffy. I think Fluffy was the new one in. Yep, lovely to have you in, Fluffy. I'm just trying to think how many new girls have come in since I last showed that attempted my first load of crochet in 3.5 months. I'm so happy you took that the way it was meant then, Higgy. And as soon as I've done it, I'm like, no, I'm going to get in so much trouble. Because we haven't been on a live together yet, so I wasn't sure if you'd take it the way it was meant. Thankfully you did. Okay, so for those newbies in, it's gorgeous to catch up with you too, Fluffy. Are you heading out, babes? Or are you staying for a little bit? Teresa's in stitches. She was laughing so hard at that. You knew exactly where I was coming from, didn't you, babes? That's the thing. Some of the times when I'm doing my whip spits in chat, I go off on a tangent like that, and I go a bit loopy, and I cut it out. There are times I cut it out, and there are times I cut it out but put it in at the end of the video, just for the girls that sit and watch all the way to the end. There's something a little bit silly at the end that'll give them a giggle. So that's normally where I put those in. Oh, you're staying, Fluffy. Phew, I thought I'd scared you off already. I knew you was tougher than that. Right, okay, so as you've seen with the background, I've been moving things around. There is last week's Whips, Bits and Chat video where there's a chunk in it where I fast forwarded or recorded me doing it and put it on fast forward. And you can see shelving just moving. I was sitting on the floor pushing it with my feet. I've still thrown me back out. But I'm getting there. It's nearly done. I've got quite I've got a little bit more to go, and I might change it around again because I've got a set of drawers. I don't know if you'll remember it from what, a year and a half ago when I was downstairs. I had the set of drawers that had the yarn that was sitting on top. I've still got those. They're in the wardrobe out the way, and I'm thinking I could bring those and put them behind me and then turn the yarn that's there, the cotton, turn that all the way round so it's long ways, which would then mean that I could put the 2x4 shelf that's laying on its side back up, which will give me more storage for them. But I'm sitting there thinking, do I really want to move more furniture? So at the moment it's staying here until the back works itself out. Right, now I've gone on that tangent, I'll come back again and say that I finally picked up this project. It's been sitting down, it was sitting in a box down here on timeout for over a year, easily. And there's this pattern here, and there will be a link at a later point in the description box down below, and there might even be an I button that pops up if you come back and watch this on replay, that shows this pattern in a bit more detail. Now, we know that there is issues with this because there are forums. I found a forum where people were complaining that they couldn't work out this section of the pattern and why wasn't it doing what it was meant to be doing and all the rest. But nobody came out with answers on it, which was really annoying, and I think I should find that forum and see if it's been updated. But I'm using the Yarn Art Flowers. I don't know if this colourway is still available. Okay, is Yarn Art Flowers, what's the colourway? 251. Okay, now it starts with a dark blue centre moving into a lighter blue, followed by a white, then a black and white, and then a black. Just give me a moment, gang. Oh, where was me off mic? I can't remember. Just give me a second. I'm just going to stick my head out the door. I'm live. Alright, I'm live. Shh. You watch, they're going to all stomp around now. Right, they're going back. As I just show you this one again. Right, so I've got, when I first picked it up, there was about this much done, but these top rows were completely wrong and the numbers were off, so I ended up stripping it back to the flowers, which is this row here, and I've got it back up to here after stripping each row back at least 3 times to get it correct so the numbers match. Now the pattern itself does not have the stitch counts for every row, it's every 2 or every 3 rows, which is very annoying, so you have to sit there and do some of the math yourself to get it correct. But the other night I realised where I was going wrong with this pattern so far was that I was just chaining and jumping down, chaining and jumping down, chaining and jumping down, and had actually missed this whole section here out. How bad was that? So I had to rip it back 3 rows and then do this one. So it's now done, and now I've still not got enough chain spaces between. Not enough. So I've got to go back to the book, back to the pattern, and try and work out where I've gone wrong. Hold on a second, I've just dropped my yarn. Oh, I've tied it around my leg. No. That way, that way, that way. Done. Right. Yeah, so it's getting there. It really is getting there, but it's going to take me a while to get my head around it and actually fix it, because of course it's written in English and I need to translate it to American to then work it easily, or my brain shuts down. Biggie's, sorry, just going back into comments because a couple of you typed a few things in. I relate to that. I get so excited when I'm expecting a new yarn delivery. I only do sort of 2 a year really, give or take, depending. I did do a nice one a couple of weeks ago. I finally got some from Hobie. Finally. They had free postage to the UK. When I see stuff like that, I stick it on my community tab. So anything where us UKers can get something a bit cheaper goes on the community tab. If I'm not going live, I think at the moment as well they may be doing free delivery to the UK, so check it out if you're a Hobie you subscribe to Hobie, because you can be cheeky if it's if you've got a boatload of points saved up from where you've been doing the Hobie bingo. You can spend your points and get them to deliver for free. That's what I did. I got an entire free package from Hobie that even had some yarn in it, so I was quite happy with that. But yeah, as I said, when I see it's up for free, I do put that on the community tab so that you hopefully will be told. So make sure you've got your when you've subscribed, you've got your little button that says all for all videos, because that will show you all videos and of course all of those as well. That's the freebie bit, not the you have to cough up cash bit. I don't like that coughing up cash bit. YOH has popped in. She says, hi Angela, long time no see. I can't stay. I just got home from work and need to take a sleep soon. I work overnight now and sleeping my days away. Oh my gosh, another night worker. I remember them days, girl. Remember them days. But she's also saying she just wanted to pop in and say hi. Hi, good night, darling. Go sleep now. Bed. Go. You can play the rewatch tonight when you're back in work. And then you can tell me all about it in the chat later. Okay, Sarah is legging it. She's saying, hubby's back now. She'll see us all again at some time. Thank you for the fun. Thank you for being with us, Sarah. Bye, bye. See you soon. And Teresa's saying, bye, Moo. Sheepseeds is in. She's saying morning. Morning, darling. Welcome in. It's nice to see you. So I've just dropped my project on the floor and all the yarns come out. So what you girls are making at the moment? Are any of you that have stuck about? Because I know a couple of you have had to leg it. And they've been here for hours. They have at least an hour. So I'm going to have to head off shortly as well. I've nearly been talking for 2 hours. No wonder I've started coughing and getting tickly throat syndrome. At the moment here in the UK, it is 1 minute past 2 in the afternoon. Who asked me? Fluffy. I'm just trying to think. You're in the US, I think, aren't you? Sheeps. Oh, I can't say your name today, Brave. My brain has gone to sleep. Sheep's in. Oh, she's making a market bag. Sorry, babe. Brain's starting to shut down. YOH. She's letting the dog out so he can do his business before you crash. Are you going to get puppy cuddles for sleep time? And I know he's not a puppy anymore, but he'll forever be a puppy. She spins. Thank you, babe. Thank you. I was reading it like that annoying yarn brand that I can't pronounce either. I'll end up just calling it Jay if you're not careful. So she spins. I didn't even think of breaking it down like that. Because normally I'm pretty good at finding a word in a word. Ah, you're Australia. Gotcha, Fluffy. You Melbourneite or are you elsewhere? Because you know me, I love my Melbourne. We're threatening the family we're going over to see them again before Christmas. Or just after Christmas, depending on when the ticket prices are at the nicest. Because, of course, I've been very lucky, depending on how you read it. I've been very lucky this year. I've been over 3 times. Oh, well, 2 and a bit, because 1 was before Christmas and then 2 was after Christmas. Because my husband's family emigrated and his parents are getting on in years. And how did it go? They had one had a fall, and he looks after mum full time, so he had a fall. So I went over to be their duty driver because he couldn't drive. And then the next time I went over was because he had his cataracts removed. So again, I was duty driver. I got a lot of crochet time in because it was just a case of running their routine as normal. So I would get up before Dad, do breakfast, make sure they've had breakfast, make sure they've had their meds, and then Dad was under instruction. He did his own eye meds because I can't deal with eyeballs. It's the only thing I can't deal with is eyes. Oh, you're half... Okay, so, sorry, Fluffy. Half an hour from Mary. By the way, I don't know. Have I been there, haven't I? I don't know. No, I haven't been there. So I can't yay or nay that. Have a lovely time, Teresa. Hopefully we will see you again soon, honey. Bye bye. Say hi to the friend. Her friend has just stopped by, so she's got to go. Have a great weekend, everybody. Okay. She Spins says she's having her left eye surgery next week. Can I just go out and vomit, please? Really, I hate it. I've worn glasses since I was 18 months old, and it's just the reaction I have is just getting worse. Okay, so there's a half an hour time difference. Is that plus or minus Melbourne time, Fluffy? Because I'm normally pretty good with it. I look at an analog clock. had to get that round the right way then. You know, them really old ones that go tick tock on the wall. I look at that and I plus or minus either 1 or 3 hours. It's going to sound very strange because Melbourne is 11 or it depends on time of the year, but it's like 11 or 13 hours or something. But when you look at the clock, it's minus an hour or minus 3, and you just flip it around for day to night. A very strange way of me doing it, I know. Fluffy says she thinks she's behind. I think I am too. Higgy, have a lovely day, darling. She says her family's arrived. Thank you for the chat, everybody, and see you soon. I've got a knot and I'm not paying any attention to it, so hopefully I can get it sorted. So have a lovely time, darling. Okay, who wants a little cheeky quiz, or have you got any questions that you can think of? Simplish ones. The brain is starting to go to sleep, mind. Right. Okie dokies. Right, I am going to ask you one of these dreadful, evil questions again. It is just for bragging rights, though, gang, okay? And it is because we've got a couple of newbies in. They are film and TV. It's film and TV quiz. Now, it's just we'll just have to see what country these TV programmes are. I was sorting them out earlier to all the UK ones because we only had UK crazes in. And then we had a couple of American ones. So let's see. Sorry, some of these I'm finding it difficult to read, so. Hey, Kelly, welcome in, darling. She's saying hi, Poppy in chat. Here. Something. I'll wait a second and I'll read yours out when somebody else has jumped in below, darling, because your word's getting blocked. No. Okay, let's see if any of you know this one. Which Northern Irish actor made a surprise appearance in the final series of the TV show Derry Girls? I wonder if any of you know this one, or if you've actually watched Derry Girls. That is, which Northern Irish actor made a surprise appearance in the final series of the TV show Derry Girls? Now, if anyone gets this, this is worth double Poppy points, because I've not even watched Derry Girls, so I wouldn't know. Wouldn't know in the slightest. And so, Kelly, what are you making at the moment? Like, Fluffy has no idea. To be honest, as soon as I read the name, I know the actor. He is a very well known. It's whether you would realise that's where he's from. It's like so many great actors, they can change their accent around. Fluffy has no idea. Okay, so nobody else had any ideas. It's actually Liam Neeson. So, yeah, that's a bit of a pants card, wasn't it? See if I can find something half decent, where actually more than one of us will at least know the answer. Alright, okay. If you've got kids, hopefully you might know this one. And what was the first name of the pink Power Ranger in the TV show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? I only ever knew about the yellow one. It was all about the yellow in this house, not the pink. Right, so earlier on when Kelly came in, she said, "Hi Poppy and chat here in the BG." BG? Big Garden. I hope I got it right. Yeah, so the next question, if any of us have got a chance, or just put NP for, NI, no idea, is what was the first name of the pink Power Ranger in the TV show Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Oh, come on, there's got to be one that we're going to know. Okay, nobody has come up with the answer. That was Kimberly. That was a tat card, wasn't it? Oh, I wonder if the filter will let us have this one. All right. ASA, so it's ASA, Butterfield, Gillian Anderson, and Emma McRae are the stars of which Netflix British teen comedy drama series? It's a naughty one. Well, it's not. It's educational. There's your clue. Very big clue. And no, I haven't watched it. No. No guesses? Okie dokies. And the answer was sex education. So who have we got left? We've got 4 people watching still. Okay, so I'm trying to work out who has left and who has stayed. So Kelly, what are you making at the moment? Fluffy doesn't watch Netflix. I thought that was going to be a safe one. Sorry, Fluffs, I'll see what else I can find. Okay, this one sounds a bit more grown up than the one a little while ago. Which crime drama set in Baltimore starred Dominic West and Idris Elba? I actually got to say his name. I said it correctly as well. So that is which crime drama set in Baltimore starred Dominic West and Idris Elba? Any ideas? I think we'll leave it at that because these cards are a bit tat, so I'm going to have to wait until we got a bigger crowd in, I think, so that I don't have to sit there and try and work out which one's the UK gang or the people that are in would know. I can just read them off and just look dazed and confused as I do it. Okay, so I've got a feeling this one might have been on there as well. Have you ever heard of the what? Yeah, you don't know, do you, Fluffs? No worries, darling. It was The Wire. I don't even think I've watched it. I'm going through a bit of a vamp phase again. So I've just, well, I did my Supernatural. I do this thing of watching Supernatural while I was doing my poppies. So I'd done the Supernatural with the poppies last year, and then I've done the Supernatural this year to actually sit and watch it. I've watched it through about 4 or 5 times now. But because I was always crocheting the poppies, I wasn't always visually watching. I was just listening. So I knew all the lines, I just didn't know all the actions. It was quite interesting, actually. I can't think what else I've... what's it called? No, I can't think of it. Oh, it's doing my nut in. They, no, it's gone. It's completely gone. Lisa, welcome in, darling. That's our cheeky Lisa Knits and Vlogs from our another Aussie girl. Getting up nice and early. Or haven't you gone to bed yet? Next, what time is it over there, Lisa? Surely you should be in bed by now. 1, 2. I don't know. It's either going to be, what, 1 o'clock in the morning or 1:30 or something. 1:30 or 10. No? 10? 9? No. Go the other way. Brain's not working. Not in gear. I was getting there, girl. I was getting there, Lisa. 11. So you're still not quite ready for bed yet, then. So, what are you girls working on? Fluffy, I think you told me earlier, didn't you? Were you blankets? Or 50 million items? Yeah, Lisa is just saying she's half an hour ahead of her friends in Adelaide, Australia. We were just having that conversation before you came in, actually, but flipped. So Lisa is knitting at the moment. Are you going to tell us what it is? Or what it will be once it's done? Ah, a scarf. Is it a simple enough pattern, or is it some crazy thing where you're having to add tape, I don't know, slip two together, divide this and jump that and all the rest of it? Can you tell I knit? Or I'm attempting to. Yeah, okie dokes. Right, what time are we on? Oh, crikey, I'm going to have to leg it soon because I'm going to have to do lunch. Fluffy is working on Mary's project bags. Waiting to make my penguin blanket. Hold on. I think I know where that penguin blanket is, you know. Oh. I've just moved my room around, so... Yeah, where are you? Come on out, penguin. There you are, Stripey. I think that's that one. Is that penguin? No, that's my koala. Penguin. There's penguin. Where are we gone? So this one, Fluffy. Oh, got to look through the holes and see if you can see him. Now the written pattern, I would suggest you get the written pattern for this one. Although there is the tutorial on the channel, I don't remember if I showed you how to do the border or not. But I would suggest that you get the written pattern. It saves any confusion when writing it out yourself. Okay. to be honest, if you can do the stitch, it's just a case of chopping and changing the colours around. With these patterns, what I do with the written pattern is I write it as in boxes, so each one of the stitches is like 3 double crochet, and that creates your box. So and from that point on in the written pattern, it will tell you on, I don't know, so we're starting this end, on the first row there's 2 boxes, 3 boxes, 4 boxes, 5 boxes, and then it will tell you, say 5 boxes, box blue, white, so and so boxes. So the pattern does work really well, but remember that this is also, there is the tutorial on the channel where I show you different joining methods and how to change your yarn and colours throughout as well. So I think that should be linked on the written pattern, but if it isn't, just shout and I can link it over, or of course you can just run over to the playlist, the patterns playlist, and it will be there. I'm going to have to put you down there. And for me Aussies, which way round are you? That way. Now, I'm very naughty. This one is Max the koala. He's a lot bigger than the penguin. I completed him a good few years ago now, and I still haven't sewn in all the ends. That's the only drawback with the picture C2Cs, is that there can be a lot of ends. So make sure that you either watch a couple of if you've never done it before, make sure that you've watched a couple of the C2C tutorials, either on my channel or someone else's, where they show you how to run your yarn colours up or change them over and things like that. To be honest, I'm trying to think which one was harder. It would depend on the order. That's the problem, you see, because I started off with my unicorn. There you are. Yeah, so I started off with the unicorn one. And have I got that on screen? I'm just looking through one of the holes. Yeah. And the hardest section of this unicorn one was this bit. When I first made it, it was the coloured hair. But then I found that I had a girl pop in and say, I'm left-handed, you're right. Like right-handed, I'm left-handed. Is it harder to do? And she tested it for me, and it turned out that all I had to do was rotate the pattern round. It was so much easier because I wasn't going to be changing. The first time I made it, I changed colour every 2 squares or 3 squares. But when it came to doing it the second time, I could do the whole row in the colour, so I didn't have to change as much. But that was the first one that I ever did. I think colour changing wise, it would be more to do with the amount of balls you end up having hanging off him. Out of the 2, I would say, which one would be easiest? I'd say the penguin would probably be the easiest, because although there's a lot of chunk of colours on this one, we also do have a little bit of mucking around on the brown section. There's actually pieces of black put in here to give the wood a bit of a wood look. So that's a lot of backwards and forwards between the 2 colours and can be annoying. You don't have to do that section. You could just sit there and go, well, that's meant to be there. I'm going to ignore that square and that square in black and just do them in brown. So you can make it a little easier for you, like for yourself on the koala. But I like to try and challenge myself with each project I do, so that I'm doing something new or it's a little harder. But then I'll also be honest with you and say, this one I found easier to do than another one. It's like at the moment I found another box of yarn with another project, and that was one of my winner only patterns, and it's one of the big ones, and I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, I know why I chucked you away. It had something like 20 balls on it, and I was only about I think I was only row 30 or something. There was all these flipping balls hanging off it, and I'm thinking I wasn't enjoying it, because I've done so many of them. It becomes tedious, so I have to change things around and do something different, because otherwise I get bored. I could in theory sit there and say, right, well, this one, the order, I'm trying to think which order I made them in. Unicorn was definitely first. I think it did actually go unicorn penguin, you know. Yeah, it went unicorn penguin, moose, tiger. No, unicorn penguin, cupcake, moose, tiger, bird. Yeah, that's the order. And I am not going to get moose out or tiger because they really shouldn't have been made. They are massive. They would fit on a double quite nicely. Well, tiger does. Tiger's nice and big, and moose is up there with it as well. But yeah, with those, it's just a case of taking it slowly and working one row at a time, or one block at a time, I should say. Yes, that knot's done. Sorry, I dropped my Projecto on the floor and tied myself up in it earlier, so I've been sitting here slowly winding it, untangling the yarn. There we go. Oh, nearly. A bit more to go. But as I've said, I'm happy. Oh, stitch marker fell out. If you've purchased the pattern and you need extra help, I'm happy to sit with you one-on-one and give you a hand and throw out suggestions. Make sure you've got your notepad though, because inspiration doesn't always come at the same time every day, and I don't remember from one week to the next what I say. Stupid short-term memory. But yeah, in regards to koala that I showed you, the tutorial is on the channel. So in theory, if you wanted, you could sit there and write down the pattern as I say it throughout the video. But honestly, the price, I try and keep my patterns priced low. I would rather have loads of you make it than nobody. So, and I know that the written patterns are perfectly fine, because that's what I used for the tutorial. And so, Fluffy, Lisa, what have you got on your hooks and needles at the moment? I think I might have already asked you that. Just trying, or are you snacking on something naughty? And why isn't anybody talking anymore? Is there anything else that you guys that I wanted to ask? Yeah, because with the C2C, they're a couple of years old now. I've done more complicated stuff, but that is that one there is pattern only. Okay, so Lisa is knitting a scarf, Fluffy's making a cardigan for her son, and Lisa is listening to me. She's being cheeky, she's doing what I do. Just go in and listen and don't chat. What you like, girls? Oh. And you're also watching an old episode of The Bill. Crikey. I haven't seen that in donkeys. Is that UK Bill, or have they redone it for Aussie market? Lisa. Okay, so Fluffy is making me hungry. It's gone past lunchtime and I forgot to eat before I came on the live. Lisa, sorry, Fluffy, you is making me hungry. She said she's just had a scone, cream and jam, yummy, lots of walking for her tomorrow. I want a scone with jam and cream. And yes, I said it ran the wrong way or the right way, depending on where you're from. Do you go jam first and then cream, or cream first then jam? So Lisa is saying it's the UK Bill, no new episodes since it finished. And she's just had a sandwich. My stomach's starting to grumble, girls. It's a miracle you can't hear it. I don't even remember when it finished. Was it mid-2000s or something? Because I know there's been some shows that the UK have made and then Australia have remade, and then the other way around as well. Lisa says jam first then cream. But what does Fluffy say? Is she a jam first followed by cream, or a cream followed by jam? Once I know, I'll tell you how I'll do it. I make a right mess, I do. Right, she's got sticky fingers. Oh, was it? So it was like in 2019 it finished. Okay. I thought it was earlier than that. But then saying that, I've not watched UK live telly in years. Because we have to use an aerial on the house. And before we bought this property, we lived in a rental, or we've lived in rentals, and the last rental we had didn't have an aerial, and there was quite a lot of houses in close quarters, so you couldn't get a TV. You couldn't get the TV reception, and so we had like a skybox, but the only way to watch terrestrial was through an aerial. And the aerial went into the back of the box, and that's how you got your free channels. So we never got those free channels because there was no aerial. And then when we moved here, they just changed from analog to digital, or digital, whichever way around it was. So to put an aerial up, we were probably looking at about £2,000. And then having to pay for a TV licence on top of that to watch BBC channels. And I was like, well, do you know what, there's only one programme I probably would still watch, and that would have been Doctor Who. And I could see Doctor Who on Netflix, so I was like, well, we're not going to waste £2,000 trying to get up onto the top of the roof and putting an aerial up. It's just not worth the money. And if we haven't got the aerial, we can't watch terrestrial, don't have to pay for a TV licence. That's a decent chunk of money saved a year, I'll tell you that. So yeah, we don't do terrestrial anymore, and to be honest, Doctor Who, I think I'm 3 Doctors back still. Because it hasn't updated, because of course they've now brought out iPlayer and I'm not watching that either. Yes, we have to pay a TV licence if we watch a BBC terrestrial, BBC iPlayer, and they're trying to make up some other tap and ball stories as well. about if we watch live YouTube. And it's like, no, you don't have anything to do with this service, so you can forget it. But yeah, if we watch anything live on telly, or if we record anything, we have to still pay the TV licence. I think it's about £17 a month at the moment. Okay, so hold on a minute. Lisa's done a bit of fact checking for us. She's saying that I was right. The last episode of The Bill aired on the 31st of August 2010. Blimey. I'm not normally that accurate. Really, I'm not. I must have watched it then. 2010? How many years ago was that? 14 years ago. Where was I 14 years ago? Oh yeah, I was on a military camp. Yeah, I could have watched it then. Okie dokes. Do I still have to pay for the BBC? So technically, if we watch any of the telly, if we watch BBC, BBC iPlayer, then yes, you have to pay for a TV licence, which I think, I'm going to be quite blunt here, I think is diabolical, considering you guys in Australia can watch the BBC for squat diddly. It comes as part of your subscription package. And they've just removed the free pensioners version, so now they expect pensioners to be paying that money every month as well. Yeah, it's disgusting. And at the moment they're firing out their letters again this year. You get a red envelope that says we will come and we're enforcing it, and we will come into your property to check. We will send enforcement officers. They're not enforcement officers. They are door-to-door salespeople. Oh, do you have to pay for it on your Foxtel? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't think you did. Oh, my father-in-law didn't want to hear my husband ranting about the BBC. That's probably why he told us he got it for free. Because if my husband knew that my father-in-law was still paying for the BBC, there would be a rocket. They would get a rocket. Yeah, they threaten it, and they try and scare you into it. It's like, I've told them we don't have an aerial on this property. So if they send some magic van around to see, they'll see that there's no aerial on the roof. But legally, they have no rights to enter. And that's where they get people. They scare them with the way that the letters are worded and make you feel like you're doing something wrong or illegal because you haven't notified them that you haven't got a licence. The letters, they will send it to your property, send it to the property as property owner. They don't even name the person, because half the time they don't know the person. Because it's like, we moved in here, I cancelled my TV licence because I was like, why am I paying for something I can't get? And they owe me half a year. They agreed to give me back half a year's worth of money off my TV licence. I've never received it back. I only receive letters saying you owe us, and I'm like, I've contacted you twice. That's enough now. So let them take me to court. That'll be fun. I'll just give the letters to my husband, because if they're not addressed to us, they're addressed to the property. They're not addressed to the person living in there. You can't take a property to court for not paying for its own TV licence. It hasn't got a job. Okay, so both of you girls are the same. Only free-to-air channels you get is 9, 7 and 10 and ABC. Oh, okay, I didn't realise that. I think I've been on one of, me and the girls years ago was on one of the, was it 9 or 10? They had the weather, and we were down one of the local beaches and there was a riptide, and my girls were really diddy. And I just shouted to the girls, stay out of the water. because the like stayed back from the water because they were what, 18 months or something, and I was just recording them running down to the water, and there was a film crew behind me recording the girls as well, and I was like, what are you doing? Why are you recording my kids? Oh, we're so and so news, showed us all the badges and everything, can we use this on our weather thing tonight at so and so time? And I phoned my mother-in-law up, I'm like, get recording, my kids are going to be on the telly. Yeah, so there was a little baby in a little checkered skirt. It was quite a long skirt and a little pair of Doc Martin boots running down, holding her sister's hand. I've got photos of it somewhere. We lost the video though. But it was just nice. It's like, yeah, you never made it to British telly, but we made it to Australia. That'll do us. Right, girls, I know it sounds horrible, but my back's starting to really twang, so I'm gonna have to call it a day and jump off and try and get downstairs. And I'm not going to show you what I look like as I try and get up, creaking, cracking, and using every naughty word going while the air turns blue. Alright, so I'm going to head off now. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. And please check back on the video tomorrow or the day after for any of the links to any of the items that I spoke about in today's video. Hopefully I remember to put them on and put them all on. Would be a good thing. So I will see you all really, really soon. Please remember, stay chilled, stay happy, and keep crafting. Goodbye, everybody. Hi, Jen. Sneaky. Bye, Jen.